Hi, I'm Gerald Bentley. This is Wrestling with Sales. Today, we're joined by the Executive Vice President of Business Development for Montway Auto Transport, Mike Tredeau. Mike, good morning. Thanks for stepping in the ring here.
Oh, Gerald, good morning to you, and thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. This last couple of years have been really unprecedented times for dealerships. And I think just since you guys were founded, Montway Auto Transport started in 2007, there's really just been unprecedented change in the industry. And you guys have grown. Now you cover the whole country, even Hawaii and Alaska, reached out into Europe as well. So definitely you've been right there at the forefront of everything that's been going on. What do you feel in your role with Montway Auto Transport are some of the key challenges facing automotive sales right now and the whole remarketing industry with auctions and vehicle transportation?
Sure. I mean, I think that ultimately we all knew that some type of home delivery was coming, and then obviously we hit a pandemic, and things just had to drastically change. I mean, you started to see it was no more. There was no more going to the auction and buying cars in the lane. Everything had to be done online.
Mm-hmm.
And that just created a different buying environment for dealers just in general, where they were buying cars all over the country. I mean, the supply and the scarcity of cars created a whole different dynamic in how dealers buy cars. And it fit in well for auto transport companies, especially ones like Montway that can really excel at moving one car at a time from anywhere in the country. I mean, typically dealers would go to the auction and, be a local auction, and you could have that local transporter bring all your cars back.
Sure.
But, sometimes that local transporter, maybe, if you're sitting in Michigan and you're buying a car in California, he can't get out to California. So that's kind of where companies like, Montway can fit in, for dealers and are able to get them that car in a timely and quick manner.
Well, and definitely something that really did change, because the other thing you used to do is if you were going to stock up your used car lot, you'd go to maybe say Las Vegas or Florida where there's tons of rental cars, and you just make sure you buy 2 truckloads. Well,
Yep.
now you're literally reaching out maybe to Frisco, Texas to buy 1 vehicle, or heck, I've bought cars from as far away as Massachusetts, and you're not buying a truckload. You are just getting 1 car. And something that you guys offer is that visibility of the vehicle as it's coming to you. I mean, I've been talking for over a month now about MAP and how it lets you see where the vehicle's coming from. It's really a huge advantage. Now, hey, I did want to ask you too, as we're moving in, kind of talking about it a little bit. What are your car dealership customers saying to you? What kind of issues are they still going through with the inventory shortfalls?
I think right now, for a lot of our customers, it's, they're asking, hey, do you know of any good places to buy? And that's kind of what it was probably 30, 60 days ago. Now, I mean, you're starting to just see a just overall slowdown, from a lot of our customers.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's obviously some uncertainty in what's going on in the economy right now. I think the close of the year is going to be really interesting. I'd like these elections to get over with. I think that.
Yeah, I think everybody would.
And maybe that will give us a little more clarity and stabilize some things just in the overall market, hopefully. And then we can get back to business after the first of the year.
Yeah, there's definitely stability, and a feeling of security definitely goes a long way in people deciding to make big purchases, doesn't it?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
If you're worried about what tomorrow's going to bring, you're a little bit more hesitant today.
Yep, for sure. And I think too, the with dealers buying cars all over the country. I mean, you could have, there's some customers of ours that will have 15 different cars in 15 different states. And, kind of what you alluded to was, the Montway Automation Portal or MAP, it allows you to have one platform that can see where all those 15 cars are and give you an estimated delivery time. So, if I'm sitting in the used car chair and or I'm a buyer at a dealership, I have a good idea of when those cars are going to get here. And, when can I get it in recon? When can I get it sold? I mean, which is real big because, as we all know, a lot of cars are sold before they even hit the lot, at least in the recent months. It might be slowing down a little bit now, but it will get back to that level again.
Sure, because, I mean, we're just now winding down the volume selling season, getting into the holiday season, but, you're only a few months away from new car selling season kickoff in March, and then that's when it's a big change. You see your average dealership doing, heck, maybe triple the sales that they're doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to kind of get back a little bit. What got your company started? Because historically, auto transports, it's an individual guy, and everybody knows their guy, and you call them, and they arrange it. What led you to start as a national company, kind of overseeing auto transport?
So our original founder, great success story. He came over from Bulgaria. He was dispatching cars or dispatching freight, and he saw a need in the market. He saw a need in the market for really being able to move retail customer cars or consumer cars. There's a lot of lead aggregation websites. Whereas if I was just an average Joe customer wanting to move my car from Michigan to Florida, I would fill out a lead form. I'd get about 15 to 20 people that called, and eventually I would have to book one of those. So he had the idea to really just design a pricing engine on a website that kind of aggregated that all together and just made it more of a customer, more transparency for the customer and a better customer experience overall. And once he was able to do that, that's when Montway just started building up and building its network of carriers and building its brand name out there in the retail space. And then, then as the company grew and evolved, then it was time to get more into the B2B space. And that's kind of where we've been, that's where I've been concentrating in the last 4 years. We obviously still, our core business is still to move those consumer retail customers as well.
So, safe to say that over the next year, your ideal goal is you want to get more dealerships, more groups partnered with you as the preferred source for transporting cars.
Absolutely. I mean, I think we can all agree that it's a really fragmented industry. In the dealer space in particular. And being able to have a platform, for multi-rooftops. We're also seeing a lot of dealerships are becoming more multi-rooftop. Some of them are becoming larger corporations. Some of them are becoming medium-sized corporations. And we're starting to see that movement. And to be able to have that central view of what's happening with the inventory as they're buying these cars. And just from an overall supply chain standpoint, it's going to be really important. It used to be, when I worked and was buying cars, you just tag the transport bill onto the per unit, and it just was a cost of doing business. And in a lot of ways, it's still like that. But at the same time, it's a cost center for a dealership, and we've got to be able to control that. I mean, it costs time and it costs money. And I think that both, what Montway is really trying to do is to bring some automation and digitize that whole type of experience to save cost, save price, and to save money and time.
Well, it's time is money, and if you're selling somebody a car in advance, the hardest thing is waiting for that car to get to them because they want it now. And if all you can do is give a guess, that's really bad. I mean, you tell somebody, hey, yeah, I think it's going to be there Tuesday. Mm-hmm. Well, guess what? Tuesday comes, that car's not there. That customer's not going to be too happy. So sure. then you end up, dealerships will say, it'll give a crazy long window. So, it's going to be like 7 to 10 days, and then hope that they come in underneath it. So either way, you're upsetting the customer. It's much better to actually just share the truth.
For sure. Yeah, totally agree.
Now, we kind of hit on it, but what do you feel the current status of the used car market is? I agree with you. Things have kind of not stopped, but it's definitely slowed down from where it was.
Yeah, I think right now, I think more people are just being a little more conservative, and how many cars they're keeping on a lot, really judging what their demand. I mean, realistically, I mean, I think if anything, post pandemic, if you want to call it that, we found that, you can have more of that just in time type of delivery, and finding that car and buying that car and then getting it on the lot. So, I mean, I think that because of that, people are more apt to just be a little more conservative instead of stockpiling, a bunch of depreciating assets on their lot right now. Before they were appreciating. Now, I'm not saying they're depreciating yet, but it'll possibly looks like that's the way we're heading.
Yeah, they're not jumping up, and you probably don't want to be in a position right now where you're stocking 120, 150 cars going into the winter, where you're going to be looking at possibly 3 months to sell it, and the book values are going to drop each month
Yep.
because it's going to follow the business at the dealership. So there is definitely, I would say, a factor leading to more just-in-time purchases because I think people in general have gotten more open to waiting for a car. That's definitely an effect that's come out of this pandemic era. Whereas 3 years ago, nobody would wait for a car. They're going to go to every dealership down the road over 100 miles to find it today. Now, I think every dealership in the country has people waiting 2, 3 months to get a vehicle.
Agree. And I mean, that's, I like to, some of it, I like to kind of refer to kind of the Amazon effect.
Mm-hmm.
But the one thing we need to do is just as car transporters is we got to be able to give that transparency so they can see. And that's kind of what we feel we've done with MAP, is that we've given that transparency to see where it is in that delivery cycle. So not only can a dealer see, they can actually share a URL link that gives the mile markage, kind of like you're looking at that FedEx package or that Amazon package of where that car is at in its journey along. Because I mean, we have to keep that. We have to, as a transporter, we have to help keep dealerships, customers engaged of when they're actually going to get the car. Because I mean, that's, ultimately they're, the dealership is trying to deliver that strong customer experience, and we
Sure.
have to be able to give them the tools in the transportation piece, at least so they can keep that customer engaged, make sure that they're going to show up when it's time to pick up for delivery.
Well, and there's a little bit more of a partnership aspect to it than in case of most transports, because most times it's just like I said, yeah, it'll get there sometime around here, and that's a bad phone call to make when you're just given a guess, because whatever guess you give to the customer, that becomes the expectation. The expectations are reality, and when you miss it, it's not going to be a good phone call calling back and saying, "Oh, well, actually, it's going to be a couple days. I got delayed." So
Yeah.
knowing where something actually is a huge advantage to a dealership, I think.
I've been on the other side of that phone call. Not a good phone call.
No, no. So you ran used car dealerships in the past, or
Yeah,
served
in
as
my
a used car
past,
manager?
in my past, I started my career, doing remarketing for Enterprise Rent a Car. So
Okay.
I was one of those guys going out to dealers wholesaling the cars, and then had the opportunity for about 4 years to run the used car sales division in Michigan. So got experience on both ends of the spectrum. So it was fun and educational.
Yeah. So you know what people are going through. It's not an abstract concept to you.
No, not at all.
No, which is terrific. Now, what would you say are the biggest challenges right now in vehicle logistics? What are you seeing as an issue?
I think that the ability to change, adaptation, I guess you would say. I
Hmm.
mean, we have different technologies that are out there, and we've got to be able to show our customer, in essence, the dealership, that it's easy to use. It's different than the traditional way of texting over a VIN or emailing something over. It is logging into a portal, but what the portal gives you is, we feel in the dealership customers that have made the change feel that it's really beneficial to have all that information at their fingertips. It just eliminates, the phone calls, the back and forth emails, the back and forth text messages,
Yeah.
and really just gives them, the transparency that, I think they'll find benefit. And I think most importantly, it gets back to saving that time, which in essence is saving money. Is they're saving that time. And some guys may not even realize how much time dealing with auto transport actually eats up in their day today. And
Sure.
I'm willing to bet it's, 5 to 10 hours a week, and they wouldn't even know.
Yeah. No, because you don't notice it as you're going through the day. The other thing that I really think is a huge factor, you eliminate guessing. There's no time at a car dealership that guessing is a good idea. How, you were sales manager. How often did you have a salesperson come up and go, yeah, I don't think they want to put any money down.
Yeah.
Did you ask? Oh, no. Okay. Well, they're declined if they don't. So why don't you go ask again and make it a little bit more straightforward? When you guess, it generally ends up badly, you know?
For sure.
Now, I think you just kind of answered this one, but what is Montway doing to respond to challenges facing customers? I think MAP goes a long way to trying to respond to those challenges.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously, we have the one point of contact. We've got two kind of lines of business. I mean, we have our individual salesperson that's calling on the dealerships and acting as their representative, to different carriers and that one point of contact. And then for the larger groups, the larger dealer groups, we have a national account management team that's, focused on their day-to-day needs, whether it's, claims resolution, whether it's order update or making sure that MAP is functioning correctly, or if they just actually want to talk to a person as well. So, I mean, you can't, the way I look at it is that, auto transportation is evolving, and we have to be able to serve our customers both ways, whether it's through the new technologies, which are great, or through just a great service model. Ultimately, they're going to come together, whether, between that service and that technology. I mean, it still needs to be both at the end of the day. And that's probably our biggest thing we're doing.
And now getting into the customer side, I think this is something that's going to continue because there's going to be a limited inventory for the next year at least, probably moving forward. I don't think the switch just gets turned back on. How's Montway addressing the shift to online car buying or to digital retailing, depending on which buzz phrase you want to use?
A couple different ways. I mean, one, we're looking to partner with any of the online platforms, whether, auctions or car trading platforms, to be, a direct link, on there as a transportation vendor for the buyers. So, I mean, that's one. And then the other one is really develop our home delivery widget, allowing, dealerships, whether it's the actual out of the box widget or just using the APIs to be able to produce a home delivery solution on a dealership website. So, I mean, that's key, so when you're on a dealership's VDP page, or a customer's on the VDP page, and they can see how much an auto transport costs to get that car from, point A to point B. I mean, that's a huge benefit to see that, home delivery is an option. So, that's just another solution along with MAP that we have out there in the marketplace.
So that's something that a dealership could reach out to you to get included on their website and just go over it. So that way everybody has it right there. So you're really getting a full solution, as opposed to, I think what happens now in almost all cases is you sell the car and then scramble to find somebody to deliver it.
Yep. Yeah. And and just to be real clear too, is that, it's not just, you can take the out of the box widget and you can customize that to fit into, kind of the layout of your page. Or you can actually just take the API information, which gives you the price, et cetera, and design it on your own. I mean, it really, in that standpoint, it doesn't really, matter to us, what that looks like. We just want to be able to arm you with the information you need to be able to produce that price and sell that car.
Yeah. And then as soon as it's sold, you can hit it, and then how long does it take to get a driver allocated to it usually?
So, I mean, our average pickup time is, anywhere is about 48 hours. So usually
Okay.
two days, but sometimes 2.5, we'll have that car picked up. Obviously, all the I's and T's got to be dotted,
Sure.
in terms of the car sale. But once that is, and a dealership gives us the green light saying it's ready to go, about 2.5 days, we'll have it picked up. And then, a car typically can travel about, for a single car, about 300, 400 miles per day on the average is
Okay.
typically what we see.
Good enough. Now, something that's pressing every industry. Are you seeing issues with finding drivers, just labor shortages or challenges just to get enough drivers to do the job?
I mean, it always has been an industry problem. One of the benefits of being a third-party logistics company is that, we can source as many carrier companies as that we possibly can that meet our requirements. So we haven't necessarily ran into huge problems with that. And I mean, it also empowers the drivers to actually be owner operators and go into business for themselves.
Hmm.
With the larger scale third party logistic companies, or what industry term they call brokers, out there, and allows them to have a better work life balance. So I mean, sometimes working for a broker isn't all that bad. It actually has a lot of benefits, for drivers. So our sign up has not really slowed, to be honest.
Okay, and that's something that you think can help kind of fill in some of the gaps where there aren't enough drivers as you're able to get people to contract with you so you have a ready team.
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely.
Now, I guess are you getting ready to go to a convention talking about some of the logistic issues?
We have used car week coming up next week. There's going to be a lot of the major consigners of cars are going to be out there. Definitely a few dealerships. The more dealerships are welcome if they want to make the trip out to San Diego on short notice. But realistically, I mean, it will be. We'll talk about some of the logistics problems that may be out there or what we see, but really just looking at what the trends are of the major consigners out there, where maybe the cars are going to be, some of the new technology that's going to be out there as well.
Sure, and then like I said, everybody's still dealing with the inventory shortages. It's really erratic and it depends brand to brand. And if you're at a Dodge Chrysler Jeep dealership, you may feel like, inventory looks pretty good. You go to a Honda dealership, you're generally not going to see any cars. Most Honda dealerships have, I don't know, maybe 5-10% of what their normal inventory is. So there's still a lot of issues facing dealerships in terms of securing vehicles and being ready to go.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Well, Mike, hey, thanks a lot for taking some time and joining me. I know a lot of people are looking to make things easier, and the theme of our show, wrestling with sales, they're looking to find ways to finish, looking to get the 1, 2, 3, finish the match and get that sale. So Montway Auto Transport, definitely one of the ways to help get into position to get that pin and help close more deals, which I think at the end of the day is something that everybody is on the same side. And you guys want to help dealerships close as many sales as they can. And in turn, that creates more business for Montway, a few more autos to transport.
I totally agree, Gerald, and thanks for having me. And that's really what it's about: is being able to be a partner with the dealership. Not just a vendor. A true partner is going to look for ways to help their customer thrive. And if we can get the cars there quicker, we can get cars that are harder to reach. We can give visibility. We can give the time of arrival of a car. If that can just in some small piece, help dealers sell more cars, that's the type of partner we want to be at Montway.
Awesome. Well, hey, thanks a lot for joining us, Mike. Appreciate you getting into the ring on wrestling with sales, and we'll be able to get in touch. And if anybody wants more information on Montway Auto Transport, The logo's right there in the corner, montwayautotransport.com. And by all means, thanks again. Look forward to having a good week, and good luck at the used car week.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Gerald.
Sure, you're welcome.
Bye.